All right. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. It is Monday. I have Joanna Stelzig here with Kim Ranzel, and we are talking about Tillamook PUD and the upcoming meter replacement, which I got a card in the mail. So I have questions for me personally. I mean, just questions as a customer. Good morning.
Good morning.
On this icy day. How do we want to start with this list of questions? Yeah, sure. You want to start with that? Okay. Sure. So let's talk about how you currently read PUD electric meters.
Okay, first of all, we have a two-way automated communication system that we read our meters with, and currently we have 21,685 meters. I just checked this morning.
Oh my gosh.
That we're communicating with every day.
Sheesh.
And now we use a technology called Powerline Carrier technology through a vendor called Aclara. And so I guess it's critical to point out that we do not use the radio frequency communication in Tillamook County. It just doesn't work with our service territory, given the terrain, and some of our services are quite rural, but basically with the two-way automated communication system, which we refer to as TWACS system.
Of course, everything has acronyms.
Yeah, lots of them. Yeah. So basically, we send a command out to the meters from the office, and that command travels along our existing power lines and goes out, and the signal can travel up to 150 miles. And this is a secure transmission of data that passes back the meter read. Essentially, we can also ask for voltage information, and we can assess communication. And this is really helpful in determining outages. So the neat thing about this program, it's worked really well for Tillamook for nearly, almost 12 years now. And just a shout out to our system planners who did the research on this back beginning like in 2004. This really was a great tool. It has proven to be a great tool for Tillamook County because every day when we come into work, we see that our read success is 99.9%.
Oh, cool.
Every single day.
It makes sense that you guys are doing it electronically, but I never realized, nobody's coming out and reading my meter anymore. Because that's what they used to do. Yeah. They used to drive around. Oh my gosh, I'm just thinking about having that job and driving around all the time. So the new meters that are being replaced now, are they being replaced in phases?
Yes, that's right. There is a specific schedule that they're following, and they are starting within Tillamook County proper, and then they'll be moving all over the county. Probably within the next 6 months, we look to see all of them replaced for our residential customers.
And the new meter, how is the new meter different than the old meter?
So the new meters are basically, they have advanced capabilities that will allow us to take our customer service to another level. They store the data for longer durations in case of outage events. We'll also be able to assess communication more frequently, which helps us identify issues that could potentially escalate into outages or damaged equipment. Basically, they just allow us to check for a larger range of system anomalies. Also, they have a voltage accuracy that is going from 5% to 0.5%. So one of the big things that we will be implementing is more frequent voltage assessments. For instance, our residential customers, they need to have a voltage of 240. And so we can begin to ask that question more frequently. And basically that question that we want to have answered is, do we have services that are 5% above or below that 240 volts? Because if we do, we need to respond. And so that's been a huge help to us, that having that perspective. It's helped us catch tap settings that have malfunctioned, and also voltage regulators that, just over time equipment gets damaged. But we're able to see it almost instantly and get someone out there to respond.
Wow.
And make repairs.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
How do they notify? Like, do they send someone a message? Does someone have to be constantly monitoring them? How do you know when there's an outage?
Okay, so
because we know that's happens a lot around here.
So there's a couple of ways that we can determine outages. First of all, if we do have an outage in the county, we do receive a phone call from a customer, and then that particular meter number is entered into the outage management system, and the two-way automated communication system will take over at that point. It will start checking all of the communication around the meter that has been reported. And so all the neighboring services.
Sure.
And it's going to do that until it reaches a point where it has communication again. And because we have the connectivity model loaded into the outage management system, which essentially it knows how everything is wired together, it will define the extent of that outage and be able to pinpoint specifically the area that is out.
Sure.
And so,
which is how you guys can say there's an outage and there's 139 customers affected.
Exactly.
Which I've always thought was pretty impressive to be able to say it's not just, for example, Cloverdale or customers up Solly Smith. You can say very specifically how many customers are affected, not only in an emergency outage, but also in a planned outage.
That's correct, yes. And the nice thing about it, too, well, first of all, you can imagine that the amount of time that can be saved because it will attempt to identify the specific transformer or the fuse or the switch that's being affected. Even in the larger cases, it will, go up to the substation level. But that's super helpful for our crews to, get them to the problem as quickly as possible. And then once repairs are made, then we do one final assessment through the system to make sure that everyone is back on. And then the following day, of course, we will have our regular read jobs occurring. And if we notice any new failures at that point, because our success rate is so high, 99.9%, any of the new meters that are not communicating, we have very actionable results. And so we can follow up and send someone to check a service that did not come back online for whatever reason.
Gotcha.
And also, this isn't too uncommon. What we'll find is if the weather is really bad, of course, maybe some of our seasonal customers aren't going to come to the coast.
Oh, sure.
But at that point, the meter reading system becomes an advocate for them because they're not home to call and report their outage. But the following morning, we see that the meter is not communicating.
Gotcha.
And so we can send someone and get them back on. And then, we can actually pinpoint approximately how many hours they were out and then provide a courtesy call and just say, you were out for said number of hours. Do you have someone that could come check on your property if you need it?
Right.
Just to let them know as a heads up.
Cool.
So,
let's talk about the replacement process itself, because like I said, I got a card, I think mid-December that said, it didn't give me a date. It just said in January. So here are my questions. Is someone going to call me or are they just going to show up at my house?
they're just going to show up.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you're not home, you're not going to know that your meter has been replaced, or they're going to leave something.
Well, you will.
Yeah, they'll leave a door knocker on your door that'll say the date and the time that they came, with contact information, a little bit of information.
Gotcha. And then I know the power will be out for a very brief time. Do you know about how long that is if they're replacing it?
About a minute.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quick when they replace
Yeah, they get it probably all
Yeah.
set up and then just do a real quick switch over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on our website, we have a video of one of our metering staff replacing a meter. So,
Oh, cool.
Folks could go and watch that, just a couple minute. It's a video that they could pull up and just see
I'm
that
sure
process.
your staff appreciates that too, because I would bet there are homeowners that would like to just stand there and watch, right? Let me do my job. Go watch the video
Which is
online.
fine. It's fine. We don't mind.
Yeah.
But
Sit there and watch.
Also on the website, you'd mentioned you got your postcard with your month, and customers will typically get that 4 weeks in advance, 2 to 4 weeks in advance before the meter technicians are out there. But if you're curious beforehand, on our website, we have a cool map that you can put in your service address, and it'll tell you in the corner what month, the anticipated month it'll be replaced. So
very cool.
And it's kind of a way that people can check that out beforehand.
tpud.org?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were talking about outages and emergency outages. Can we give the number for what you're supposed to call if you have an outage?
Sure. Yeah. So our if it's after hours, our dispatch line is 503-842-2122. And it's a 1-800 number also. So it could be 800-842-2122. If you have a Smart Hub account, you can report the outage online as well. Sometimes it's nice to give a follow-up call on that, especially if you're an individual outage, just to make sure that the report was that you gave was received. And then also the contact information on those, some customer accounts could be outdated, so your contact number could come over to us and it could be an old one, so we might not be able to get a hold of you, and so it's helpful to call in also.
The other thing that I think is very helpful, do you guys use Nixle?
We do. Yeah. Yep.
Using Nixle is great. You can sign up for that. And it's not just the PUD, because I think emergency management uses it as well.
They do. And they have weather and road alerts on there.
I don't know if it was from Nixle. Was it this morning saying that, it was
I got that too.
Rainy and 32 degrees, so careful.
Could be icy.
Yeah.
When on our website, you can click the Nixle icon there, and that will take you
it's
to
right there
Nixle,
on the front page.
and you can register to receive alerts, and you can select the alerts you want to receive from the emergency management, from the road department. You can select those different people that you want to hear from. Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
It's very helpful. I mean, it's always funny because I have Nixle and I have another one. I think maybe from 911. I don't know. So sometimes I get duplicate text messages, especially if we're having like a high wind warning.
Yeah.
But when we were having those high winds a couple weeks ago, and I just kept getting it got extended to, or the floods, that's what it was. Flood warning extended to 4:00, and now 6:00, and now 10:00.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
We're having a lot of water. Get it.
I know. And then I was like, do I need to go to the grocery store? What do I need to do?
Yeah, I know.
Pre-planning.
And just for a second, you're like, oh, I got to panic. What is happening? Oh, wait. Okay. I'm fine.
I got a few more hours.
Yeah. So when is the project scheduled to be fully complete? Is it like within the year?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, probably midsummer. That's what we're looking at.
Okay. And if anyone has questions about it, they can call the office or stop by, I assume, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. We've had lots of different inquiries. Our website has quite a bit of information. That might be the first point, and then definitely call in or email our service email.
Yeah. I'm going to take a quick break. I had my ad. Oh, there it is. And talk about Tillamook Motor Company. Are you ready to go to work? Tillamook Motor Company has huge discounts on commercial vans, plus 0% financing for up to 72 months. Ford Transit vans stand head and shoulders above the competition. Configure the cargo doors to suit your job with a cargo box floor that is flat with near vertical sides for maximum usable space. Choose from a wide range of products designed to suit different trades: cargo dividers, multi-racks, bulkheads, and sliding platforms. Use your imagination to create one hardworking vehicle designed with you in mind. Take a test drive today at Tillamook Motor Company on the friendly corner of 5th and Main in downtown Tillamook. Tillamook Motor Company, a better place to do business. So I'm talking with Joanna Selzig and Kim Renzel from the Tillamook PUD, and we're talking about the meter replacement project. I saw you pointing at your paper. Are there things that we need to talk about that we haven't yet?
Well, I guess maybe just in general, it'd be nice to talk about some of the benefits that we have seen from smart meters. So first of all...
Are the current meters considered smart meters?
That's true, they are, yes.
So this is just, technology is always evolving, and
that's right.
So it's just an upgrade on what you currently have.
That's right, yes. And so, if you think about it, we've been reading these meters every single day since 2009, essentially. And so getting all this information. And so just over time, we are... just the wear and tear, and it's time to upgrade, and to take the next step with the meter reading system. So, but just in general, some of the benefits of smart meters, like the power quality perspective that we gain from that, specifically with the communication piece, which I was mentioning earlier, and that, again, the reliability is so high that anytime we see communication that's intermittent or just not even there, we can respond immediately. And what it has led us to specific things along the power lines that needed to be addressed. So, for instance, the customer still might be have power, but the condition of the line around it may be suffering in some way, like a bad splice, loose connections. You can imagine the thousands of connections that we have throughout the service territory, and of course, we have storms
rugged
and those
territory
things. Yes,
too.
exactly.
It's not like we're just on surface streets in a big city.
And so because of that, indirectly the power line carrier technology allows us to maintain our system. And gives us an extra perspective on failing or damaged equipment, and it's just and because the system does work so well every single day, it's just a reflection of the great job that our line crews are doing every day, and our system planners to properly size equipment. And it also alerts us to things like vandalism.
Oh, sure.
And also, as I mentioned before, the isolated seasonal customers that are not reporting anything going on.
Right.
It also helps us with the energy usage. So we are now putting that energy usage data into the hands of our customers. So if they log into their Smart Hub accounts, which is also available, the information on our website, they can see their hourly usage from day to day. They can see hourly, weekly, daily, monthly, and then they can compare it from month to month to see, and they monitor their own usage that way and their own issues. And it also equips our staff. So if customers have questions about their usage, then our staff can pull it up with them and talk it over and see, why is it more this month than last month, and when is it more now, and it can isolate issues for them. So that's kind of
or why is there a peak in the middle of the day when I'm not home? Like what happened? What's going on? Maybe someone's in your house watching TV. I don't know.
Exactly. And so, and although this didn't happen with Tillamook PUD, but I did hear of another utility where a customer did come in and say, hey, why is there usage during the middle of the day? We're not home. And it ends up they came in, they got on their Smart Hub account, they looked at the usage and everything. And what finally was the determining thing was that the son was skipping school. He was leaving school, going home, turning on everything.
I was right.
So
busted.
Yeah.
So that's it. Well, I don't think are the kids the kids are on their way to school now because it's a late start Monday, but don't try that, kids. Parents can catch you now.
So, well, and also the energy usage data is good for our system planners because they're always looking for to plan properly for future energy needs, and so you can see the historical growth over time. And they also want to properly size equipment for each of our services. So we can ask basic questions like, do we have overloaded transformers, and why and when is that occurring, and for how long? And so that can be super helpful to help us get out there before problems occur. And then also we can monitor for unauthorized or reverse usage. So sometimes we have tampering or power theft events that show up immediately. Yep. And then, reverse usage can also indicate, maybe something was wired improperly. But again, you can just imagine how long these conditions might have been out there prior to having this perspective.
Right.
And now we're responding within just a day or two.
Yeah, so, that's awesome. And it probably makes your guys' job so much easier.
I think
or so. Is it a little different?
With new technology, there can always be new challenges as well. But yes, I definitely think that this perspective now is invaluable. And then I do know that we never dreamed that we would have such benefit from it in the power quality standpoint, because originally, some of the business case elements for implementing this were, having the meter reads every day. And that was, essentially the low-hanging fruit of, what we wanted it for.
Yeah, that's what you were,
but then to go beyond that and be able to measure these different elements along the line, and then it gives us a perspective on the condition of our infrastructure throughout the county. It's just been huge. And other utilities now are looking to us and using some of our tools to search for anomalies. And so that's pretty exciting to be able to share that as well. There are over 400 utilities that use this same power line carrier technology. And so we've had the opportunity to share some of those tools. In fact, Hurricane Irma came through, I guess it was sometime last year, and we received a phone call directly from a utility in Georgia. And after talking with them about some of our strategies for outage restoration and checks, and it turns out they were using one of our tools.
Oh, cool.
And so that was really exciting to learn that, our strategies were being implemented there to help them get back because they had lost several primary lines.
Yeah, of course.
So,
yeah. Now, did you say when we first started this conversation that the replacements have started, or they have started? They started like last week?
Yes.
As soon as 1/1 hit, 1/2, January 2nd.
They did a few beforehand in a small
kind of a
batch
test group.
But yeah, they're out there.
Cool. I don't know if we mentioned it, but we're talking about the PUD meters being upgraded. The existing meters are going to be upgraded to a newer smart meter, which is going to provide a lot of benefits. It sounds like not only to the PUD, but also the customers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's great to have something that can kind of, I'm going to say, keep an eye on stuff, just because we're physically such a big county. I mean, we don't have a lot of people here. We're very rural, but we're like 75 miles long, and I don't even know how wide we are. But that's great to be able to have your finger kind of on the pulse of what's happening.
Absolutely. And I think probably the biggest thing, is the safety aspect. I mean, because we have this perspective and it alerts us so early and we're able to get out there and really, assess situations because, if the meters are having intermittent communication, if they're powering on and off, things like that, something's up.
Right.
And to be out there and to check it out, we're responding to things that never escalated into a major issue. And you have to consider, how do you measure what never happened? And in the safety aspects of that, not just for our customers and their property and their equipment, but also our own staff who are regularly out there along the lines doing repairs and regular maintenance.
Yeah.
So,
you mentioned the linemen. I just wanted to give a shout out and a thank you because they're awesome. We get those. It is amazing how quickly they get power outages restored when it's we have an event. It's crazy.
Yeah, they get out there and they get moving, and they're very efficient.
Yeah. Yep. There's not many times where you're out of power for longer than a couple hours. Yep.
Yeah.
Good for them. Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Let's see. What else do we want to cover? I know there's a few other things that are going on that maybe we can quickly cover. We only have a few minutes left.
Sure. Community grants.
Sure.
Let's talk about community grants
Go
coming
for
up.
it.
All right. So right now on our website, we've got the procedures and the applications available. They're also available in our office. Community grants, the board has budgeted $75,000 for community grants, and local organizations, nonprofits have the opportunity to apply for projects that they might have coming up that focus on economic development, community livability, and then outreach among the community. So they can apply for those. The due date is Friday, February 22nd by 5 p.m. to the office or emailed in.
And you can find that information on TPUD. I just like to say TPUD.
TPUD.
TPUD.org. It's under news and community, and there's a community support grants link there. And then you can there's application and the grant procedure. Let's see, what else do you have? Green power. You drove your fancy little green power car over here.
We have our electric car over here.
Or electric car. Sorry.
Not green power, not powered by.
I forgot. Yeah. Cow poop. It's not the poo car.
That would be an interesting.
Hey, they have biodiesel.
Yeah. So we've got our green power program still definitely going full force. Businesses and residents can choose to support the program. It's to support local generation in our area from our digesters out at the port of Tillamook Bay. That one will be firing up soon, and then also out on McCormick Loop. So we've got information, again, going back to tpud.org. We've got on our website information about the different levels that people can choose to support the program, and how that works. There's a cool calculator that you can put in your usage that'll help you kind of figure out if you want to support the program and at what level.
So can you kind of tell me a little bit about green power? I have your little sheet here, and I thought it was very good. Can you tell me what what is it doing? If I invest in it, what am I doing?
Oh, okay. So people that choose to support the program, so it's power that we purchase that's generated locally from processing dairy waste. So cow manure.
It's like the methane, right?
Right. It's methane digesters. So it's power that we purchase from them. It costs a little more to generate and
because it has to be processed.
Right. Right. So it costs more than power that we purchase from BPA. So community support helps support the program so that we're able to purchase it. So,
and keep the digester going, essentially.
Keep the digester going. And if we, if in the event of a natural disaster occurring, that we have that option hopefully for that local generation to power a little bit.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, so that's another thing that we look at too for emergency preparedness.
Cool. We're out of time. Is there anything else you want to mention really quick? I can give you like 30 seconds.
Just look for information, more information about town hall meetings we're doing this year throughout the county. We're going to try and hit each section of the county and do some town hall meetings. So we'll have information on where those will be. The first one will be in central Tillamook County. So we'll have more information about that. So look for that.
Real quick, I want to mention, or I wanted to ask, have you talked about the meter replacement in the rural light? I don't know that I
Yes.
read the December one.
We talked about it.
I think I flipped through it really quick.
What? You didn't read it cover to cover?
I did not.
Oh, man.
I didn't read the wanted ads either. Although sometimes I really enjoy those.
I do too. We talked about it in length in the September issue.
Oh, okay.
So it was back quite a while ago, but
I do read the rural light. I just usually flip through it and then see what catches my eye and then read it.
catch our pages. Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Hey, thanks, ladies, for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa.
If you want to get more information about the PUD meter replacement, tpud.org is probably the easiest way, right? Or stop by the office.
Absolutely.
And you said there was a map online?
Yes, for the meter replacement project to show
Where?
when your area or service address, service area is being
Man, I
replaced.
got something in my throat. Let's see. Senior meals, 11:30 at St. Mary's by the Sea in Rockaway Beach every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Also noon every weekday at the Kaiwana Community Center in Pacific City, as well as the Tillamook Senior Center at 4th and Stillwell. And there's also, I didn't put the one from Tuesday on here. There's one Tuesday and Thursday in Nehalem at Nehalem Bay Methodist Church. Cost is $3 for seniors and $6.75 for everyone else. Tomorrow is Hospice's annual, nope, not Tuesday. What's the 10th? Thursday. I wrote the wrong day. Thursday is Hospice's annual Light Up a Life reading of the name ceremony. This year, the ceremony is held at St. John's United Church starting at noon. And on Saturday, the Sheriff's Office is again hosting a Refuse to Be a Victim class. It teaches easy to understand methods to avoid dangerous situations and prevent criminal confrontations. Seminar participants are presented with a variety of common sense crime prevention and personal safety strategies and devices that can be integrated into their personal home, automobile, telephone, technological, and travel security. This Saturday's event is in Central County at the Sheriff's Office. The program runs from 1 to 5. It is open to teenagers and up. Registration is $5. To register, contact instructor Anthony Betancourt at 815-3354 or Tillamook RTBAV, that's Refuse to Be a Victim, Tillamook RTBAV at gmail.com. Pre-registration is required to make sure they have enough materials. Again, that is this Saturday from 1 to 5. The one they had in South County earlier, I think in November, they had 37 people show up. Yeah, should be pretty cool. Ladies, thanks again for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you, Tillamook, for listening.